Viridian, The Green Guide, by Clouds, My Head in the Clouds Not Coming Down, read by Oakshadow 5, Chapter 119, Reunion. Summary: Isuku deals with his arrest. Katsuki didn't want to admit it, but he was worried about the nerd. He'd wanted to stay at the police station, but after Tsukauchi had called his parents, he hadn't been able to figure out any way to explain why he was so insistent on staying without letting it slip that it wasn't just some random vigilante who had gone missing. But if he told his old hag that it was Isuku, then they'd tell Auntie Inko, and it would all be a whole thing. Thankfully, Dan's face had shot him a text after he'd woken up from his whole brain frang thing, saying that they had a list of locations and that Kurogiri was warping All Might all over town to check them out. It had been about the longest hour of Katsuki's life, and Kaminari texted again to say that Eraserhead had been found, but Izuku had run away. Again. The nerd wouldn't run too far, though. Katsuki knew how much Izuku cared about his mom. He wouldn't leave her or do anything stupid like that. Katsuki couldn't even count the times the nerd had almost died and just gone home without thinking anything of it, so he knew this time wouldn't be any different, even if he couldn't call Auntie again without freaking her out. Izuku was almost definitely just at home, sleeping off whatever had happened, and he'd just have to get the details later when the nerd woke up. That didn't stop the anxiety from playing in the background as he picked at his lunch, but that wasn't going to go away until he knew that Izuku was safe. Now if only he could get his old hag off his back. Katsuki was acting really weird. On the one hand, Mitsuki knew that his moping around the house was somewhat justified. His teacher had gone missing, and his internship had been put on hold, but on the other, it just seemed like there had to be something she was missing. Katsuki didn't normally worry about other people too much, but she'd practically had to drag him out of the police station, insisting that he'd done all he could, and that he needed to leave it to the pros and get some sleep. She was pretty sure he hadn't actually slept, but at least she tried. She still didn't understand why he was so upset though, because he wasn't even really that worried about Aizawa. From what little she understood of the situation, Katsuki was way more worried about the vigilante that had gone missing alongside him, which didn't make any sense, especially since when she'd asked why he was so invested, Katsuki had just given up and agreed to go home rather than tell her why, so she knew he was keeping something from her. A part of her wanted to cuff him over the head and yell at him until he told her the truth, but she'd dressed his son long enough that she knew he had a stubborn streak a mile wide, so that wouldn't do any good. Plus, well, his son was a strong boy and he knew what he was doing. If she pushed too hard, she risked him blocking her out, but annoying as practicing patience was, there was a high chance that Akatsuki would come to her when he was ready. If not, then she could try yelling. Her phone rang and she glanced at Katsuki, who didn't even look up from his food as she answered. Yeah, this is Mitsuki. Hi, Mitsuki. Inko's voice sounded cheerful on the other end, but something about it also made alarm bells go off in Mitsuki's brain. Could you maybe let Katsuki know that the next time my son gets kidnapped by a villain, I would appreciate being informed? Mitsuki whipped around as everything finally fell into place. Katsuki Bakugo! So much for not yelling. The tracking anklet felt weird. Izuku had expected it to be heavier, but really, it was just there, and that was enough to have him pulling up his pant leg every few seconds. He was going to be a hero. Sure, the Hero Commission was only allowing him to become a hero because of a loophole, but that's the only reason he'd become a vigilante anyway, so it kinda seemed fitting. He still couldn't believe it, but Eraser said that his meeting with Hound Dog tomorrow would help with that, at least a little. He was just kinda ignoring the whole being a hero thing, and trying to focus more on the joining Class 1A thing. He'd be able to spend more time with Kachina and Denki. Plus, their classmates had so many interesting quirks, and Isuku was actually really looking forward to analyzing them and helping everyone improve. Assuming that anyone was actually willing to take advice from a quirkless kid. Mom and Eraserhead were going over some paperwork with Detective Tsukauchi, but Isuku couldn't leave without setting off the alarms on the tracker, so he was just hanging around in the hall and trying not to draw attention to himself. He'd seen a lot of heroes, including some like an old man in a yellow cape that he didn't even recognize, and multiple police officers running around the station in the wake of awful ones. Well, they were probably busy cleaning up his mess, so he didn't want to get in their way. Denki's voice made him look up, and Izuku had to hold back laughter at the adorable frosted look on his boyfriend's face as he whispered. What am I supposed to call you right now? And why are you in the police station? Izuku smiled apologetically and lifted up his pant leg to show Denki his anklet. My secret identity is gone now, so I guess either name is fine. I kinda got arrested. Oof, Denki grimaced. Congratulations? Izuku snorted. Thanks. I mean, Eraser's been trying to get me to join the hero course for months now, so at least we'll be in the same class. Denki's face brightened. Really? Oh, this is gonna be so much fun. I can't wait to introduce you to everyone. And Mina is gonna literally die. Well, probably not literally. I'm sorry, that is such poor taste. I mean, with what you just had to do and everything. I am so sorry, I'll shut up now. Denki looked horrified, and Izuku swallowed a bit of bile. They told you what happened? Yeah, Denki nodded. I didn't, see the body or anything, besides, the bag they brought in, but Ahmed and Granino had to go back to the morgue and identify him and everything. Apparently, killing him was supposed to be my job as the next holder of One for All, if you can believe that, so I, guess I should thank you? Oh, Izuku said blankly. You're welcome? Denki just shrugged. So, how are you holding up? You just got arrested, and you told me I could use either name, so I'm assuming the heroes know your identity and other stuff. Isuku took a deep breath. You mean that I'm quirkless? Yeah, everyone knows now. Cool. Denki looked slightly lost. But they're still letting you join the rehabilitation program, right? Kinda? Isuku frowned. I don't really qualify, but Eraser cornered the Hero Commission into making that announcement so that they couldn't take it back after learning that I was quirkless. I think I'm more just a delinquent student of UA more than anything. Denki grinned. Hey, if being a delinquent student gets you a hero license, then that works. You gotta do whatever it takes to win, right? Isuku blinked a few times, then smiled slowly. I hadn't thought of it like that. You're pretty smart, Denki. Denki bumped him with his shoulder. What can I say? I had a great teacher. Isuku squirmed under Granino's stare, unsure why this felt worse than meeting Denki's actual parents. Granino, who was apparently that hero he hadn't recognized earlier, just looked down his nose at him, a feat in and of itself considering how short he was, and Isuku couldn't even reach his expression. This was terrifying. After a long minute, Granino finally spoke. So, you're the kid who took down Alpha 1? It wasn't a question, but Isuku nodded anyway. Granino didn't say anything else, so Isuku just bit his lip and looked around. Ahmed was sitting in the corner, and Isuku really didn't want to talk to him, but this whole thing was so awkward already that he couldn't possibly make it worse. Sorry for stalking you. Ahmed spat up a lungful of blood, and Isuku grimaced. He should really get that looked at. Ahmed wiped his mouth with the back of his hand and stood up a little straighter. It was somewhat stalking, but he was simply trying to look out for your friend, and you pointed out risks that I myself was unaware of, so no hard feelings. Isuku hesitated. Do you remember me? Granino raised an eyebrow. You cornered the #1 hero on his roof, and you seriously ask him if he remembers you? Kid, you overestimate how forgettable you are. No, from before. Isuku shrunk in on himself. I asked you once if I could be a hero. Aizawa said you were quirkless. Ahmed's face fell. My boy, I am so sorry. Isuku smiled sadly. I just wanted to make sure you know it was fine. You weren't the first nor the last to tell me it was impossible, so it wasn't a big deal. He wasn't quite sure how Granino reached that high, but somehow he was hitting Ahmed over the head before Isuku could even blink. Did you seriously tell the kid who killed your nemesis for you that he couldn't be a hero? How dumb can you get, you blonde oaf? Izuku's eyes widened and he waved his arm frantically. No, stop, really, it's alright. Don't hurt him. Granino glared at Ahmed, but thankfully stopped hitting him. You're gonna be a great hero, kid. Don't let this idiot tell you otherwise. Isuku blinked a few times and turned to Ahmed, who shrugged and smiled sheepishly. Apparently, even the symbol of peace is wrong sometimes. Isuku sobbed harder than he ever had in his life. Oh my gosh. Ahmed just said that Isuku can be a hero. These last few chapters are really good. They just tie up loose ends. So while we're on the topic, this is the second to last chapter. I don't want to think about that. I'm gonna think about that on Sunday. But anyways, guys, I hope you all enjoyed chapter 119 of Viridian the Green Guide, and I'll see you all next time for the last chapter. Bye!